Right now, I'm doing family medicine in Fort Lauderdale area. I inherited a practice about 6 months ago from a physician who's 90 years old who asked me to come down and help him out. The practice is a niche practice. All we do is airline pilot physicals, and we're seeing 15 to 25 pilots a day just doing their physicals, so it's a very elite practice. Prior to that, I spent 30 years in the Navy as a naval flight surgeon, and from my naval experience as a flight surgeon, it was a natural fit for me to take over this practice down there. After I retired in 2007, I was working as a civilian on one of the admiral staffs at the Naval Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland. And then after that, I did what's called locum tenens, where I would go around and help practices for several weeks to several months at a time, and then ended up at my house in the mountains of North Carolina. We drove down from Salisbury, which is only 50 miles away, it turns out, and it was a Sunday afternoon, probably, in the fall, and so we drove up to the front of Stowe Hall, and they used to have a circle there where you could park in front of Stowe Hall in St. Leo's. So we pulled the car in there, and there was nobody on campus because it was a Sunday afternoon. And Father Anselm was the director of admissions, and he saw us get out of the car because his office was right there on the end of the building there at Stowe Hall. And he came out and he said, can I help you? And so he introduced himself, my mother introduced us, and he said, well, are you interested in Belmont Abbey? So my mother said, well, I've heard about Belmont Abbey for years, and we're just curious because my sons are looking for places to go to college. So Father Anselm spent the whole afternoon, we were here for probably 3 hours, talking to him about the Abbey, talking to him about the monastery, talking to him about Benedictines, talking to us about the programs at the college, and that they have a pre-med program here and all that. And then he gave us a complete tour of the college, and we walked all over the place talking to us, including taking us into, which was then a cathedral, now it's a basilica, and he explained to us all the significance of the cathedral and the abbot and his position in the monastery and all that. So at the end of the afternoon, we went back to his office, and he said, hey, if you're interested, here's the catalog. The application is inside the catalog, and fill out the application and send it to me, and we'll see if we can get you in. So I went home, filled out the application. It was $25, I think, back then for the application fee. And I mailed it in, and then a month later, I got a letter of acceptance from Father Anselm, who was the admissions director back then, and said, you've been admitted to Belmont Abbey, congratulations. So that's the only college I've ever applied to. And so here I am. And the pre-med curriculum matched what was required of the medical schools. And so all we had to do was, and what the faculty here did was just make sure that I was covering all the bases, that, I had the required chemistry, biology, physics, math courses, it's kind of core curriculum. But then the other beauty about the Abbey was that we were required to have, theology, philosophy, economics, English, history. I had to fulfill all of the liberal arts curriculum requirements too, which really helped in the long run when I think back about being able not just to talk about scientific stuff and chemistry and biology and areas like that, but it also allows a physician or anybody coming to a college like this to be able to communicate and relate to any discipline across the board. So the power of a liberal arts education is just that it gives us the opportunity and it gives us the background to be able to not only be successful in our chosen careers or vocation, but also that when you're dealing with people within that realm or anybody else who you interact with along the way, it's just a natural progression. One of the things that always struck me was their dedication to education. And the Benedictine philosophy was to have a vocation of education. The philosophy is still here. The traditions are still here. The faculty who are here now and the administration still continue that tradition of academic excellence and the holistic approach to the whole student, and that's what a liberal arts education is all about.